what we did was we made the system so that these fields, the full name field and the email field, could be pre-filled whenever the user clicks on the link
Nice.
for this form. So the way you do that is up here in the upper right-hand corner, you click on the Get Pre-Filled link. It will open up a second version of this, basically, where you can fill in the information. So I just went in here and said, Mark Stepp, email mark@realvolve.com. And then down here at the bottom, there's this button that says Get Link. Whenever I click on that, it takes in and it copies it, creates it, and just say copy link, so it copies it to the clipboard. So now what would happen is if I was to take this and I want to do Control V, you'll see that it created this link. Instead of just being one little single link, it has a little bit more stuff to it, but it goes ahead and passes in some entry, whatever. This is actually the field name for full name, and this is the field name for email. So it has Mark plus Stepp and my email in the URL. So if I hit enter on this, it actually goes ahead and fills in those two pieces with information. The key to this is that we don't want to put my name in there and my email, but we want to put in the user that we're emailing this to. So what we did was in the template for this, let's see, let's go back over to this one here. In this click here, if I click on the little link, you'll see that that same link, what I did was I used merge fields for the values in there. So it's going to use whatever bracket contact pound home email. So it uses the home email to fill in that one field, and first name and last name for the name field. So whenever you do a mail merge, or whenever you're sending this out with a contact in there, it will fill in these values in the URL right before it sends it. So whenever they click on it, it actually clicks with their information in it, and it fills in the form automatically with their information in it. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. So the key to this is going to be making sure that on the other emails, we use that same link. Whenever I was working with her on this, what I actually ended up doing was just kind of coming down here, and I did a Control V to see that full link. I came over here and said unlink. I turned it off, and then I broke this out just so that if you ever wanted to do this again, bracket home email. So contact home email, I can grab that, Control C, and paste that in, Control V. So I do that for the first name and last name as well. Then I grab that whole thing and put it in the link for the click here. Did that make sense? Okay. So ultimately what we're doing is we're coming up with a really cool way to do a mail merge within a link, and therefore whenever you send this, it has the actual content in it. So what we then did was, once we got that, that will then send them to the appropriate preview window. So it'll go to this window with the information filled in. Once you actually fill in this information and choose the number of guests, then what it's doing is it's taking those number of guests information and the name that was filled in, and it fills in this Google Sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got the full name field, the email, and will you be bringing a guest? Then what we did was we set up a Zap. And we created this Zap that says, okay, there's two parts to the Zap. There's a trigger and there's an action. The trigger is whenever a new row gets added to the spreadsheet, it will add it into Realvolve. So I'm just going to edit this one just to show this real quick. Basically, we are doing a Google Sheet. The function on this for the trigger says anytime I get a new row added to the sheet, I want to trigger Jackie's account.
Mhm.
And then it says, okay, which spreadsheet and which worksheet is this dealing with? Well, the spreadsheet is this event registration responses. And the sheet is the form response 1, which is down at the bottom. So we've got the event registration worksheet and spreadsheet, and the worksheet of that is form response 1. So I hit continue on that. It goes out and it says, okay, based off of you choosing that, we've got some data, the columns of information are the B, D, and C columns. So B, D, and C, just not in the same order. So that's just saying, what are the columns that are coming across. Now, if I come over here for my action, I say, well, based off of getting a new row, what do I want to do with it? Well, I want to make it go into Realvolve. I want it to go into our Realvolve account and create a contact. This is which account it actually is in, which is just Jackie's account. And then we've got this list of all the fields that you can bring in from the Zap. Full name field, the title, the company, all these different fields are available. You're only using 3 of them. You're using the full name field, which it shows you an example of what the name would have in it, first name, space, and then the last name. And then we've got the home email address, which is her email address. And then down here at the bottom, we say, how's it going guests as a title, and then the number of guests that they answered will be going into as a note. Okay. We could potentially put that in as a tag if you wanted to, but we chose to put in as a note currently, unless you want to get that changed. Now, once that contact's added, then it immediately runs a workflow. If it's a brand new contact, somebody that's not in our database right now, it'll go ahead and add it, and it'll automatically start the rescue RSVP completed workflow. If that contact is already in there, which we hope that they are, and the way it knows whether it's already in there is by the home email address. It'll do a lookup by home mobile number or by home email address. If it finds the email address, it'll update a record instead of creating a new one. Okay. If it does find it, then it's going to still start the same workflow. So it's starting the same workflow, whether it's a new contact or an updated contact, in which case it runs this RSVP completed. This workflow that once they do their registration, it only has one activity, but that one activity does a couple different things. It is an email activity. So we have an action on that activity that says basically send out the thank you email. So it sends out this thank you for registering. And if we open this up, it'll bring it up and show the exact email, which gives this image that talks about where to go. The other part of this action that we've got going on here is that we've got it doing some adding and removing of tags. We've received the registration, so we want to tag that person that we received it on as being RSVP yes. And then we want to also remove the how's it going 2019 tag, which is the indicator of who we're sending this email to in an automated fashion. By removing it here, the next time you send it for week 2, if people have not responded, it won't send it to the person that did receive it or that did reply to it. Does that make sense?
I like it.
Okay.
My question is, how do we initiate that first email to go out?
Okay. The way you initiate any workflow is to go under the radar tab of a contact and start it. But one thing that we do need to cover is this. I still need to, I'll answer the question, but I need to do one more thing on this. So this is the event workflow. There are 16 activities that you currently have on here, of which you've got some things that are done like 6 weeks before the end date, 5 weeks before the end date. Technically, what you're going to do is you're going to start this workflow and you're going to give it the end date as being the event date. It will then back calculate when this email should have gone out, which at this point, I think you're actually past that. This one probably should have already gone out, correct?
Yep. Well, yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then the following week before that, then this invites and branding goes out, and then this one will go out. But what we want to do is that we want to check this one, and I think we did update this one, is this is the email. Actually, no, this is where we were at yesterday. We were determining when do we actually send that email that goes out to all the people, and how do we do that? This activity here is one that's basically saying it's more of a cross check to see, did I do it? Because you've got some checklist things on here. We could actually send out the email from this one, or we could create a different activity that's done right before this one to actually do the sending. So that was the question I had yesterday, is do you just want to make it so that this email is, this activity is the one that sends the email for the first time to the attendees, or do you want to create an activity prior to this that actually sends it, and then this is more of a checklist after the fact that, yes, I did this, yes, I did that?
Have the email send out right before this checklist.
Okay, so, and this one is done.
Hey, Mark, it's Jackie.
Jackie.
What's the list then that it's going to if you've removed the 2019, and I'm catching in late here, but what's the name of the list that you're sending it to? Is it still all just staying here? If you've removed that how's it going 2019 tag, what's the name of the list do you do it to RSVP? Yes?
Okay, so no, but we did cover that yesterday's one. I didn't bring that up.
Sorry.
What we did, in order to, if you're removing that tag, how do I know who those people are? So that's a great question. And what I ended up doing for you is we have this how's it going 2019 as being the tag that indicates whether or not I still need to send it. But we created another one called a how's it going 2019 invited.
Okay.
And we could almost flip-flop these if we wanted to. This one here will stay permanently, where this one is the one that gets removed if they reply to the RSVP. And then if it's removing them, the next time that the email goes out, that person will not be included because that tag is not on their record.
So it doesn't matter if they've replied yes or no, they've replied. Is that right?
That was a question I had yesterday. In this form, you only have, this is basically only a yes option. You're not giving them a no option. So the question was, well, how does somebody say, no, I'm not going to attend? And I think Angela said that it was just, you guys normally just get an email saying, no, we're not going to attend. So if that's I mean, you could come here and have, yes, I'm going to attend, no, I'm not going to attend.
Or we can have another.
Well, I think we need to have a no, because if they don't.
Well, here's the deal. If you have a yes, no option on here, yes, I will attend, no, I cannot attend,
Yeah.
that yes or no can be passed in as the tag technically, so we can actually add the tag there. But what would happen is if they were to go back and visit that URL again and say they changed their mind, they fill in the information, they change their mind, it'll actually start the workflow again and do the process and allow it. We can make it so that they technically could fill out the form even after the fact and it still take care of the issue.
So they'd have to find their old original email because they
would.
Yeah.
Or would we still email them the second and third one?
Well, if they answer no, right now it removes them from that workflow, so therefore they would not get number 2 and 3.
See, I'd like to just, I mean, in my opinion, but I would just like to have them have 2 more opportunities to say, well, yeah, I am free. Maybe I can go.
Okay. I mean, that's up to you guys.
I like the idea of your clients being able to respond with why they would not be able to go instead of just hearing a no. That way it's another point of contact
so you want a
as
personal.
well.
They'll say, nope, I'm going to be out of town.
Right.
And they'll do that reply to an email.
Yeah.
Instead of marking it on here, no, I'm not coming.
It's up to you two. I don't really care.
We'll just leave it off for now and just keep sending them, keep spamming them until they say yes.
Okay. So if they don't reply to this, it will leave that tag on that contact of how's it going 2019, and if it's on there, then in the workflow piece, we had it set up so that the information would then be sent to whoever's tagged with that particular tag.
Then I guess I'm curious. So if we said no, or if we had a thing where they said no and we put a comment section in there or something like that, that could be also documented and put in the Google form, right? So that we'd have a record of that. Otherwise, if it's just in an email, I have no way of tracking and seeing where are you keeping it.
It goes right back into Realvolve.
Yeah, I mean, it can go into the Google Sheet, but it can also be sent into Realvolve as a note.
But then I have to go into every individual person to see it.
To see the note, it will be on the Google Sheet as well. But if you go into the individual contact, you would see that as well. We can.
But if they're emailing a reply to you, Angela, it's just in their notes, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. If you email through Realvolve, you go into the contact, you press email, you email them,
Right.
Their response and your response is documented in there.
But I want to be able to just go into a Google Sheet and see everything on there at one glance. You know, I mean, if I want to just know who's coming and who's not and what happened to them.
Yeah, you'll get, if you have the yes, no, you would have that on here. If they would say there could be an option here that says attending yes, attending yes or no, whatever that is, and then maybe a comment or something if you wanted to have
That's what I'd like, because if we, like, when on Evite, like people say, yes, can't wait to see you and we'll be bringing a bottle of wine or whatever, how people put comments in on that, or if it's no, sorry, we'll be out in California visiting our aunt and uncle. I'd love to know why some people that I think would be there aren't able to attend, so that gives me a rationale to touch base with them.
Oh, so you want to call the no's?
Yeah, because I'd love to be able to have a rationale for a touch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to have a no option in there and then a comment field. I'd love to have the yes and a comment field added.
What we could do is have a yes or a no option and then a comment afterwards.
Yeah.
Would that work? Whatever, it's going to be attending there, yes, no. And then we'll add another one, which is just a comments. Make this a required field. Okay. So now if we go and we look at this, it's going to come up more like yes, no,
Still want the other.
attending, whatever. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and say mark step,
I
mark
did.
at
Okay.
Realvolve.com.
Actual
There's
other little
bringing 2 guests. Actually, I'm just going to say 1 guest. Kathy's going to, oh, okay. We need to change this probably to instead of a multi-check option, it's a radio box like this. I can change that real quick. And then, am I attending? No. Say, too far to travel. Kathy would like to come, however.
Yeah, she would.
The next time. Okay. So I hit submit. Now what that does is I come over here to my event, and you can see Mark Step. Here's my email. Whether I would be attending or not, I guess that's irrelevant if I answer no, but then there is the comment section. So now I can come over here to this, and I'm going to come back up here to the sheets, edit this option, should test this, is this Mark? No, it's Angela. So let me come here. Yeah, okay. So let me go grab this one. I'm sorry, what?
Are you recording this?
Actually, yes, I am recording this.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm in this first row. So here's Mark's step. Too far to travel is my comment. No, I'm not attending. And 1 is the number of attendees, but or extra guests. So now I come down here, and what we want to do is come down here. So we're adding in the notes. How's it going, guests? Is 1. I should say attending. Yes, no, probably ought to be at the top above that, actually. And then to make this one here comments. So what we want to do is, are we attending, yes or no? Use whatever's in that field. And then the comments is whatever's in the comments field. So in the note field, you're going to say, are they attending, yes or no? How many guests? And actually, let's do this.
That would have driven me nuts.
Okay, so attending, guests, and comments. Now the question is and we kind of debated on this yesterday, is the number of guests and the attending, yes or no. Do we want the attending, yes or no, to just be a tag? And I think we probably should.
We did an RSVP yes or no tag that was already in the database.
Yeah. Is it RSVP colon yes or no?
RSVP space capital YES or capital NO.
RSVP space.
All caps, yes.
No, capital Y, lowercase ES.
Oh, I said all caps. Sorry.
Okay. Is the attending, so what I can do is just pass in RSVP and then whatever they answer, RSVP yes or RSVP no on that. So it'll do it automatically. Then we'll still do the same workflow. The only thing on that workflow, however, we can now remove off completed. On this one activity, we no longer need to add that tag. It'll be added within the Zap automatically. So down here, what I can do is add or remove tags. I'll take this one off. So it'll automatically put in either RSVP yes or RSVP no based off of what they answer on that question and not worry about this, but it will still remove the How's It Going 2019 tag, still leaving the 2019 invited tag on each person that was invited. Okay, so now I'm jumping around because I want to get that done before I test this. So what I'll do is I'll test this on me. So I'm going to say continue, retest this step, and send test. So now if we come over here to this, mark step, mark step. Okay, I answered RSVP no. And then here's the How's It Going event. No. Oh, but I did. Okay, we received your RSVP. It still sent me the email because I answered yes, or I answered no. We probably don't want it, or do we want it to still send this? Probably not.
Oh, yeah.
What's that saying? Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the thanks part. Well, it does say thanks. We've received your RSVP. It doesn't necessarily mean that they answered yes or no. It's probably fine.
But it
Let me
gives
read
you
it on
the
mine.
time and location.
Yeah, but I mean that still gives them the opportunity to well, maybe I will go and reach back out to you. We received your RSVP.
Is there something that we can set up where it notifies Jackie to call them or make a contact to them if they replied no?
She'll have access to this and just be able to go down through it.
Okay.
So at this point now because I wasn't initially on the How's It Going list, I don't have that list item. Even if it was there originally, it would be removed except for the invite option. So that's fine.
Mark, what happens if we have, like right now I just signed a contract for a new buyer, so I want to add him to this workflow. Can I just start him alone on this workflow?
Technically, the way this workflow needs to work is that we're going to start this workflow one time because it's more of a reminder workflow for you to get things done, right? So we'll start it on your record, but the emails are going to go out to whoever is tagged with that How's It Going 2019 tag. So if you tag that person, they would go ahead and get the email, or technically you could just send it as an individual email using the template option, which is what I did yesterday for Angela.
And
so
then he can RSVP off that, then it'll still follow the process.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, so let's just say, for instance, for Mark, say Mark was just added to the database and I would just want to manually go in here and send him an email. Well, I can click on send an email. The template that I want to use is How's It Going first invite. Okay, so here's the invite. This has the special merge field. So if I click on show preview here and I click on this, it takes me to the email. It goes ahead and fills out my name and my email address because it's being sent to me because we included those merge fields in that link. So what we've not added in here was the actual event to send the email invites. We've got these other activities that are basically checklist items, and that's where we were kind of at yesterday. And so in this particular one, there's a How's It Going event meeting, invite and branding, and then first email goes out is on 4 weeks before the event, right? Now, that's just kind of the checklist stuff. That doesn't actually send it out to everybody we started to do it that way, but I think we stopped. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to set up the emails that actually send these out. So we want to send first invite email. This is going to be going from Jackie. It's an activity for Jackie to do so that it'll come from her whenever the email gets sent. Who are we doing this with?
Can I, because we need it to be more general, the assign to. So Jackie's not going to be actually sending them. It would be Angela or I. And
But you want it to send with her signature, right?
yeah. But wouldn't we have to be in her dashboard to get this task?
Not if we send it automatically. We can have it sent automatically so that it just goes out.
Yep.
So
Yep.
she doesn't, you don't have to log in or do anything.
Yep. I forgot about that. You could do it automatically. I just haven't been using that feature because I'm not 100% secure on my Realvolve.
Gotcha. Once you get secure with it, that's going to start saving you a lot of time on a lot of other things as well. If you
Sure.
know that it just gets done, you don't have to worry about it, that's when things start getting a whole lot easier. You know, if you're using it as a babysitter for yourself, which is good, it still takes the amount of time to check it and stuff like that. It saves you some time, but it's not freeing up what I like to call zero time. You know, it's not giving you zero time activities, which just means it gets done whether I do anything or not.
Sure.
So we said 4 weeks before the end date is the way you had that set up. It is an email,
That would give you the
and
But you know
this
how
was send
that's what I'm worried about.
invite email. Now you can make it send manually if you want, but if you're going to do the send manually, you've got to make sure that you log in as Jackie and do the sending piece. Do you want it manual or do you want it automatic? Manually?
Yeah.
Okay. First invite and save.
Now, where I'm sorry if I'm backtracking, but who did you use it with? You picked
On the with field, I said anyone tagged with How's It Going 2019.
Okay, now because I did a practice run with this template, when I activated it on my end, in my radar, it shows all the people that are tagged with How's It Going.
Yeah, so here's the thing on single use workflows like this, you don't really apply it to each person. You apply it, in this case I would apply it, I mean you could apply it to you or you can apply it to Jackie as a workflow that needs to get done, but it's you as a team are running this workflow. Anybody that is tagged with this is who's going to get the email.
Got it. So I think yesterday I was missing the piece where it removes that tag. That's what I couldn't get on Realvolve alone. And that's where we needed Zapier to come in.
Right. So what we did on that was we created the RSVP workflow that gets run after they answer the workflow question and Zapier comes in. It runs this workflow that sends out the email that says thank you for registering, and it removes the How's It Going 2019 tag from the person that actually responded.
Yeah, that's a huge time saver.
Yeah, so this is what you were missing, and that's what we added yesterday.
Cool.
Okay,
Boy,
so
it brings me so much joy.
It does.
Way to go, Mark. Woo, woo.
It does bring me joy too, because going through the Pi Day one was.
now we need to do the second email and third email. So we're going to say second email invite. Again, we're going to use Jackie with, now this time we're still going to use how's it going 2019, but there should be less people that get it the second time around, because whenever it goes to send it, it determines who is on that list before it goes to send it. So when on this is 3 weeks before the end date. It is an email. We need to go back and make sure we've got the link set up for email number 2. How's it going? Second invite. Save.
Do you need to remove that tag in your?
No.
Okay.
No, because we're doing that in this RSVP one once they answer it.
Sure.
We're not, we don't know that they've answered it yet.
Okay.
We're just sending the email at this point. And then the last one being send third invite. Again, Jackie, again, tagged with how's it going 2019. When on this is 2 weeks before the end date. It's still an email, and we're going to send this manually with preview.
If after the first email, or maybe the second email, she wanted to change that to automatic, she can just go ahead and do that, right? So she's feeling good about it.
Technically, once it's started, that's
Right.
the way it is.
Change it in the middle.
But yeah, but the you've really only got this workflow running only once anyway. So you're only going to have to do it 2 more times.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no big deal.
But the next.
Okay, so then we add that. So what will happen then is this. It'll go to Jackie's email to send this out. Technically, you're going to get this email, this right here, and probably what we ought to do is have this here being, say, first email invitation goes out. You can almost say, log in.
Love you too,
Yeah. One of those days. Log in and send via Jackie. Just as a checklist item. So did you do this?
Oh, yeah.
And if you haven't, you can do that. So that'll go out.
That's good.
Second invite's going to send the email. We've got the second checklist of things here. So log in and send via Jackie.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
See that team meeting?
Yes.
We would like that to recur every week until the week of the event. And here I just put it on each work or each activity. Is there a different way or a better way to, remind the marketing assistant to have that team meeting every week?
Yeah, I would create an actual activity event and just have it set for repeating weekly.
Okay.
And then end after five occurrences or whatever, however many occurrences should happen between
The way I
and
wrote
the
it
end
was
of the event.
4 weeks, and then the last 2 weeks it should be twice a week.
Okay, and we can do that too. But so going back to what you just said, make the activity, can you check my Friday friendly call and see if
Okay.
that's set up right? Because I have the email
Friday
going
friendly.
Monday and calling all the no's Friday.
Okay, so you really shouldn't have to do this other step here, but here's this repeat option.
Yeah.
You've got it set repeat 1 time a week for 6 weeks basically. But you're doing that from, when is this? This is actually 0 days after start date. So yeah, this is just, it's going to happen every Friday for 6 weeks is what this is going to happen.
Is that right, or should I have it a schedule?
You could do it, 6 weeks. 6 weeks before the end date.
Well, I guess we're not inviting till we're 4 weeks in, so should it be 4?
Okay, so yeah, 4 weeks, and then if it's 4 weeks, then you're really only going to repeat 4 times.
Okay. And then do that the same with the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
But we're meeting every week.
Yep, and you're calling every week too. So
I'm
you're
calling who?
the no's. Right? Is that what you want to do?
Well, the invite doesn't go out until the 4th week, so I don't
Right.
have no's. So I'm only calling for 4 weeks.
Right.
Not 6 weeks.
Right. We're gonna change it.
Okay.
But I haven't yeah, you just changed it.
Yeah. Now what we've not changed yet is that link piece. Unless you did it. Let's see, this is the first invite. So I'm going to click here. What I want to do is Control C. I want to grab that link since it has those merge fields and stuff. We want to make sure that that link is on these as well. Link. So instead of using this basic one, we're using this enhanced one that's got the merge fields in it. Save that. And then on, this is third invite. Same thing on this one. Control V. Okay. So does that make sense, guys? What we're doing?
Yes.
Mark, it's amazing.
You bring us so much joy.
So everybody, Jackie, just for your going back, everybody's currently that's going to be sent this is on this How's It Going 2019. This is the one that gets removed.
Okay.
This How's It Going 2019 invited is the one, it'll stay on there until you guys want to remove it, but that way you can always bring up your full list of everybody if ever needed.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll see you later.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Ciao. I'll send you the link for this video.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great day. Bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.